Hey guys, it is Thursday here in West Virginia, and late last night, FedEx dropped off my RLC Hot Wheels 2000 SVT Mustang Cobra R, and I got two of them. I ended up selling one, and I kept one. So the one I kept, today we're going to crack it open. I got it in the brown shipper. The label's not on it because they had put two of the individually packed ones in a bigger box, and that does not require a shipping label on it. But if you just order one, that's how they send them. That's how my Nova came, was with the label on the brown box. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and crack this guy open, get that out of the brown shipper box. The brown shipper box doesn't really state anything special. It's got the barcode on it, and I'm not sure if this number is like other numbers or if it's a very specific number for the Cobra R. Or maybe this number is. I'm not sure. It probably is, because that's how Mattel does it with stuff. It either indicates like a series or a specific car. On the premiums, it's usually a specific car, but I'm not sure. So anyways, that's all it is just a brown shipper box. Pretty much same spill on it with other things, with when it was made and blah blah blah, just like on the back of the card. So here's the thing we want to see most of. This is the 2000 Ford Mustang SVT Cobra R, and it is very nicely done. I would have preferred just a basic red, like the base coat, clear coat, enamel red or something, instead of the Spectre Flame, just because I like the cars to look more original than anything else. The Spectre Flame kind of kills that, but the Spectre Flame is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Like on certain cars, I don't mind it, because you could say it's like a wrap or something like that, and it would be acceptable. Like, for example, the lowriders or custom trucks, things like that. But for the stock versions, I don't know. I prefer just a regular paint instead of the chrome paint. But that's my opinion. So anyways, on the back side, it has a story about it. We'll take it out of the protector pack. So all of them are shipped in this Hot Wheels protector pack. And anyways, back here is a small story about the car. So how do you turn a Ford Mustang into a legendary turnkey track beast? Take out the AC, radio, sound deadening, undercoating, and rear seats. Install a race-tuned 385 horsepower, 32 valve, 5.4 liter V8 mated to a beefy 6-speed manual transmission. Give it a taut road racing suspension with huge brakes, removable front air splitter, and a functional rear wing. And add a pair of high-end sport seats. Give it a glossy coat of performance red and a couple Cobra badges. And oh yeah, only make 300 of them. Hot Wheels has captured this rare and iconic fire breather in bright red Spectre Flame, with an opening hood to showcase the tightly coiled power unit inside. This 2000 Ford Mustang SVT Cobra R is ready to strike right off the line. That is pretty cool. Pretty much, as you can see, everything was eliminated for weight. That's what they used to do back in the late 60s, early 70s for these like factory race cars, basically. And still yet being done by Chrysler, and I'm sure Ford has a couple and Chevy has a couple where it has a lot of stuff deleted to save on weight. But yeah, this car is very cool. It has a lot of very nice details to it. I'm very impressed by Hot Wheels, and the price was good. And as you can see on the plate, it has the vanity plate that says 1 of 300. That's pretty cool. Too bad they didn't make like 300 chase pieces of this car. And then that would have been true, but they didn't. That's supposed to start next year, 2026, where they're going to be inserting random chase cars in the RLC production. And I've also heard Team Transports are going to have chase pieces for the retail market. So that'd be cool. different ways to score rare pieces. So now I bet everybody will be buying every release from RLC if they make a chase piece of every release, which I would say that they should, because, well, it would up their sales and it would also up the value in collecting again, because now, since they mass produce everything, it's not really as fun as what it used to be, like getting a car that's one of 5,000 or 10,000. Now you're getting a car of like one of whatever Mattel feels like making. But anyways, and I think it's best probably to keep them on the card, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to crack this guy open and try to do it where I could save the card, because sometimes I do like to put them back in their blister pack, where you can not back in, well, I do put them back in the blister pack, but put them back in the Protecto too, so it keeps the package sealed. But this card is not gonna probably do that. Yeah, it's not working so well, so we'll just go from the top and see if that's a little better. Yeah, going from the top is much better than going from the bottom. The bottom folded in the paper. But anyways, there we go. It could be salvageable, but that's only if, as I said, you want to display it back in the package. But this one should do that okay. This is what I would say. You just kind of close it back up, but because that top edge, I hate doing the top edge because it always folds downward. But the Protecto pack would probably hold it back in place, and it would display cool. But this is an issue. I can't believe the paper folded up on the corner of this. That's weird. That usually never happens. Huh, weird. Usually it rips the paper, but it doesn't peel it up and fold it. So that's kind of unusual. So anyways, we'll put the package over there. Now let's get this guy in the spotlight. And the Spectre Flame Red is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I really like it. But I would have rather have seen the regular race red, the bright, glossy red finish as they spoke about in the write-up. Now, under the hood is beautifully done by Hot Wheels. I mean, all the detail is there. The air intake going into the intake plenum, the valve covers, the inner fender detail. It's all there. The front end detail with the headlights, the horse and the grill. And the hood closes very nicely. The gaps are beautiful. And they cast it in mirrors. That's awesome. A lot of their models, they overlook the mirrors. But this one, they didn't. So that's pretty cool. You got the high wing in the back like they had. Mustang on the rear bumper cover. Your Ford oval there. SVT logo, detailed lights with your turn signals and backup lenses. And underneath the car is awesome too. As you can see, the exhaust, you have dual catalytic converters. Going back into, I guess that would be, I don't know, a resonator. Then it goes into the mufflers and then comes out in front of the rear tires with dual tips on both sides. That is really cool. And as you guys know, I'm really not a Ford guy at all, but this car is beautiful. Very nicely done. And this is probably, in my opinion, but I'm not a Ford guy, so I'm probably going to be wrong or offending some Ford guys. But this body style, like the 94 to 04s, were probably the least desirable body styles. Especially the 94 to like 98. I think 99 or 2000 is when they changed to this style and they carried it on to 04, and then in 05 they did the retro restyling, how they look pretty much nowadays, like an old 60s Mustang. But the ones that were 99 or 2000 to 2004, in my opinion, look much better than the 94s, the 98s. But yeah, there will never be another Fox body, though. The 80, what was it, 87, the 93s, those were the ones with the Euro lights. Then the ones with the square lights were from 79 to 86. Sorry, guys, I had to pause for a second, but yeah, I was mentioning like the square light style that went from, I think, 79 to 86. But this car is very cool, though, I have to say. I may hang on to this one for a while. And even the wheels are kind of correct, too. I mean, I know these are Hot Wheel style 5-spokes, but it's very similar to the 5-spokes that were used on this car and like the Salines of the same years. Pretty cool car. And it's even got the detail in the interior with the racing harnesses. If you can see down in there a little bit, if it would stay focused. But it does have detailed racing buckets and the harnesses, 5-point harnesses, you can kind of see down in there. And you can kind of see where there's no back seat. Very, very cool car. And still yet, even race cars, though, I even need a radio. But the everything else being gone, heater, back seat, all of that, that's fine with me. But I love hearing the sound of the engine too, but on long road trips, it's nice to have a radio. Very cool car. So hope you guys were able to get one. As I said, unfortunately, I already let my second one go, and this one we're going to keep for a while. And, oh yeah, if you guys haven't seen it yet, that's that 62 from Auto World. I added the adjustable suspension base on it. The paint job is very crude, but this one I was really upset with because I broke one of the ears off the A-frames, and I had to kind of make the front wheels fixed to the A-frames because the other Daytons that I had gotten with this setup had actually broke. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it was me or the wheels, but the Regal, the wheels went on great, and then this one I had a lot of problems with. So I just used the stock gold spokes that M2, or not M2, but Auto World and Miho put on it. And it looks really good. It's basically having the cars out of the box. The rear wheels still roll, the fronts don't. So, but it's basically like you see it in the box, but then this one has a trick up its sleeve. It does have adjustable suspension. So, pretty cool. So anyways, I just wanted to show you that before we wrap it up. And we'll be back again tomorrow for our Free It Friday. We're going to crack open some new team transports. Well, not brand new. They're new for me. I finally found a Ferrari set for Ethan, and we found the Toyota and the Lykan Hypersport. So we're going to crack those open for you guys tomorrow. So be sure to tune in for that. Thanks for watching, guys.